So good evening to all the participants. So Siddharth has already introduced about myself. I'm Dr. Natasha Gurung. I'm scientist presently working in ICAR in regional station Kalimpong, which is under West Bengal. And today I'm going to talk about hydroponics technology in horticultural crops. So in this lecture, I'll be just discussing what is the basics of hydroponics, what are the different types of hydroponics, and what are the crops which can be grown under hydroponics. And I'll be talking in depth about the protected cultivations of vegetable crops in hydroponics, such as tomato, cucumber, capsicum, and also the flower crops which can be grown in hydroponics, such as rose, lilium, and carnations. The advantages and disadvantage of hydroponics, and what are all the firms which are dealing with hydroponics. To begin with, hydroponics. So many of you from yesterday's lecture might know a little bit about hydroponics, right? So hydroponics, anyone knows what is hydroponics. Hydroponics is basically, it is a cultivation of the plants. Okay, you can see it's a cultivation of a plants in a nutrient rich water solution. Okay, and there you can use soil in a soilless media. Main important thing which you have to highlight in hydroponics means we are cultivating a plant or growing a crop in a soilless media, and the media can be water based, and also it can be solid based. In the solid base we'll use certain substrates, that is vermiculite, perlite, along with the nutrients. So the word hydro comes from the Greek word, and the phonos works also comes from the Greek word, which means water walking. So hydroponics is scientifically it is possible because in photosynthesis it is nowhere mentioned that soil is required, right? So if you can see the diagram, there is a water. Plants need water, they need carbon dioxide, and they need sunlight to produce glucose, that is in the form of fruits or vegetables, and which is also required for the plant growth, and the plant gives out oxygen. So only these three substances are required for plant growth and development, which can be provided through hydroponics. The term hydroponics was coined by the coined by the professor William Gericke in the 1930s. So moving on to more the basics, knowing the basics of hydroponics, which is also known as a soilless culture. It is a broad term that includes all the techniques of growing the plants in a solid media. Solid media means growing in vermiculite, perlite, or a coconut coir, or any clay substances, okay, or in a nutrient-rich solutions. Nutrient-rich solutions means in the water we are giving all the nutrients. That is also known as water culture. These hydroponics is becoming a popular technology, and it is gaining popularity in the regions where the soil health is very poor and there is a frequent and abundant soil-borne diseases. In those places, it's becoming a very popular technology. And the basic requirement which we should focus on hydroponics is to see the optimum EC and the pH of the water, optimum aeration and the temperature, buffer action of the water and the nutrient solutions, and we have to supply all the micronutrients as well as the macronutrients to the plant for its growth. So hydroponics is nothing but a soilless culture. In other words, we can say hydroponics is nothing but a soilless culture technology for growing plants in a nutrient solutions that supply all the nutrients needed for plant growth with or without the use of inert materials such as gravel, vermiculite, rock wool, peat moss, sawdust, coir dust, coconut fiber, etc. So everyone, I think they now understand what is hydroponics, right? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So plant for its growth and development, the nutrients which they require are 17 nutrients. That is, we categorize them into macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those nutrients which are needed by the plant in a larger quantity. Those nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and secondary nutrients sulfur, magnesium, and calcium. And micronutrients are those nutrients which are needed but in a lesser quantity. And with the absence of these micronutrients, they show certain deficiency symptoms, and the plant growth is also hampered. So these micronutrients are boron, nickel, zinc, iron, manganese, molybdenum, copper, and chlorine. Right. So all these nutrients which are always present in the soil, we are providing these nutrients in the water and giving it to the plant. So can anyone tell what is the need for hydroponics? Because I want a two-way interaction, because I feel like I'll just be speaking to the computer. Right, so there should be a two-way interaction. So can anyone tell me what is the need? Why do we need hydroponics? What is the need? Yes, participants. Come on, speak up. Come on, speak up.
Ma'am, increase of population.
Okay, one question.
High productivity.
Less area, more product.
Okay.
Cultivable land is decreasing, ma'am.
Yes, very good.
And ma'am, decrease of arable land.
Very good.
Ma'am,
Yes.
to improve food security.
Very good.
Optimization
High
of
production.
Ma'am, decreases the attack of pests.
Very good. So you all know why what is the need for hydroponics. So
Higher yields.
yes,
And
someone
also
tell
to ma'am, obtain favorable results and yield.
me.
Enables the production of fresh produce globally.
Yes. So all of you know what is the why we need hydroponics. No, so I'll be just telling you in brief. So as the population is increasing, right? So the land is also decreasing, and now there will be a future. In future, the area will be very less, and we have to go for hydroponics to sustain the growing population, right? And the hydroponics, it does, it provides a better quality of this vegetable crops or any crops. The quality and the yield also is very good, and in the unit in a smaller area we can produce more. Maximum profit is there, means in a smaller area high yield is given. So many of the points you have already told. So moving forward, I'll just discuss what are the types of hydroponics. Okay, technology. What different types of hydroponics technology are there? Commonly used systems are wick, drip, ebb flow, deep water culture, and nutrient film technique, that is NFT. So first we'll talk about wick system. This is the simplest system, hydroponic system, that requires no electricity, no pumps, no area. Anyone can do wick system. Even you all can try doing wick system, right? What is done in this? Plants are placed in a nutrient medium, that is maybe coco pit or vermiculite, and a thick nylon wick is running. Wick is essentially like yesterday also the first lecture they talked about the wick system, right? It is like we take a cotton thread or any nylon cloth, and then what it does, we are dipping in a nutrient solution, and that cloth, it soaks the nutrients through a capillary action, and it gives the nutrient to the plant. So here you can see the wicks in this net cups. Wicks are given with the help of wicks. The nutrients are taken up and given directly to the plant. In some wick system, in advance, you can even use a air stone and a pump for giving oxygen to the plant. So this is simple how you can even do wick system in your own house. Just you can take 2 containers and then you can drill some holes in this containers and then put some this threads or wick, and then you can take media such as the media here is 60% perlite and 40% vermiculite. Why we have taken this media? Because it can hold more water and give it to the plant. So here we have put the wick and underneath we will place the nutrient rich solution, and what it does, the wicks, they absorb the nutrient and they give it to the crops. And this is the picture showing the germination of the seeds through wick system. So I think it is clear, wick system, right? So anyone can do a big system. You can just take a 2-liter bottle and then cut it into 2 halves, and then you can drill a hole in the cap, on the cap, and then you can just put the in the water you can put the nutrient solutions, and then you can put any this soilless media, any cocoa pit or coconut coir, and then you can put your plants and put the wick on it, and the wick will absorb the nutrients and it will give it to the plant. This is a simple DIY wicking system. You can even do at your home. Now we will move on to the next one, that is the ebb flow. Ebb flow, basically it is flood and drain. Okay, it is the first commercial hydroponic system which was based on the principle of flood and then drain. What happens is, there you can see there is a tank which is rich in nutrients, all the macro and micronutrients. What it does, the pump delivers the nutrient rich water to the growing trays. Okay, and then after that excess of water is again drained back. The important thing in ebb flow is the timer, because otherwise if the timer is not set, the pump will keep on pumping the water till all the plant gets submerged, and if it gets continuously submerged in this nutrient solution, there is a chances of root rot, algae and mold. Okay. So the timer is set, and at a particular time the drain is means the water is again flowed back to the storage tank. Here you can see again another picture showing how the water are pumped and the roots are submerged into this nutrient-rich solution, and excess are which again goes back to the nutrients. Also a circulatory system. Okay, I think it is understandable. Now we move on to the next system, that is the drip system. So in drip system, what we do is from the nutrient rich solutions, the plants are given just like in any drip irrigation system. We give water to the individual plant drip wise. So here what happens, the nutrient rich solutions are taken from through the pipe and they are given in the drip wise. So what it does, it saves the water also, and excess of water is again drained back to the nutrient solutions. So it is a widely used method both for home and commercial growers. And this efficient use of water is also done. Now we move on to the fourth one, that is the deep water culture. In this, the roots are directly submerged in this, as you can see in this picture. These are in this water, the nutrients are there, and the roots are directly submerged in this nutrient-rich solutions. The main problem in this is the growth of algae and molds, and it is mandatory in this culture, in this deep water culture, to monitor the oxygen and the nutrient concentration due to the growth of, as I said, due to the growth of algae and molds. Okay, and this is very important. Like, this system works good for larger plants, that is cucumber and tomato. Now coming to the fifth technology of types of hydroponics, that is a nutrient film technique, also known as NFT. It was developed by Dr. Alan Cooper to overcome the shortcomings of ebb flow. It is just like ebb flow method, it means flood and drain, but there was some lacunas in this ebb and flow method. So a nutrient film technique was invented to overcome these shortcomings, and it is just as I said, it is simple, just like ebb and flow. But what happens is the plants are placed in a slanting position so that the all the excess of water gets drained out, and there is no chances of fungal infections or any root rot. Okay, so as we have talked about the types of hydroponics, now important thing we have to see is the EC and the pH. Can anybody know, can anybody tell me what is EC? Yes.
Increase electrical
Electrical
conductivity.
Conductivity.
And we require higher EC, like in a irrigation water, higher irrigation EC is required or not?
No, ma'am.
No. Yes. EC is the electrical conductivity of the water. Okay, we whatever water we are giving to the plant, or whatever fertigation we are giving to the plant, we have to check the water quality. We have to see the EC and the pH. Okay, and ideally the EC should be in the range of 1.5 to 2.5 decisiemens per meter square, or per meter. Okay, and what happens when there is a higher EC? If the water is having a higher EC, that is electrical conductivity, it will prevent the nutrient absorptions. The plant is not able to take up the nutrients due to the osmotic pressure. And lower EC also severely affects the plant health and its yield. So ideally, we have to check the pH, and time to time we have to monitor the EC. Appropriate management of EC in the hydroponics technique can give effective tool for improving the vegetable yield and quality, which was quoted by Gurudwa in 2009. Also, I will quote an example. The yield of a tomato under hydroponic system increased as the EC of the nutrient solution increased from 0 to 3 decisiemens. Okay, and it also decreased if the EC again increased from 3 to 5. So the EC should be in an ideal range. So the yield is also affected if the EC is higher or EC is lower. And this table, which is shown here, it is given showing the ideal EC and the pH value of all the crops which can be grown in hydroponics. Okay. Okay. Shall I move next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
to
ma'am.
set up any hydroponics, if you want to set up a hydroponics, if you want to try by yourself, you need at least two instruments. That is the pH meter, handheld pH meter, and the EC. So just you can at least check the quality, the ideal pH for any irrigation water. It should be 5.5 to 6.5, because in this pH the plants can they absorb the maximum nutrients, and the EC, as I said, it should be ideally in the range of 1.5, and you should see that it should be lesser than 2. Okay. Now, we have checked the EC and the pH of the water. Now we have to give fertigation. How to give fertigation? How can we give? So, as I said, plants need nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. So these nutrients are water soluble. That means these are water soluble, and we should also keep a separate 2 tanks. At least we should keep a 2 tanks, tank A and tank B. And a tank A should contain calcium and magnesium related fertilizers, and tank B should contain phosphorus and sulfur related fertilizer. Why we are keeping these two different tanks is these if we are keeping everything together, these have the chances, this water soluble fertilizer have the chances of compatibility issues. Okay, so it's better to keep two tanks of fertigation systems. Although nitrogen and potassium we can use in any both of these tanks. Okay, while chelated micronutrients, can you give me some of the examples of chelated micronutrients? So it is iron. Okay, so we should keep the iron in tank B. And the EC and the pH should be monitored. As I said, it should be regularly monitored. Here is, you can see how they have taken the EC and pH of the irrigation system or the fertigation system. And we should also, so after making these two tanks, tank A and tank B, these are all the stock solutions. The stock solutions can be mixed with the irrigation waters, that is 1 to 3 liters should be mixed, and it should be mixed with 1000 liters of normal irrigation water for the plants to be given. So now how we can prepare these nutrients? These are the chemicals. So most widely used, widely used nutrients is the Hogland solutions. Okay, here I have not given, but here are other examples: Albert mixture, Dr. Alan Cooper formulas. See here, all the nutrients are there: potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, all those things. We need 38 grams of potassium nitrate. Calcium, we need 925 grams of calcium. Magnesium sulfate, we need 308 grams of magnesium. EDTA iron, we need 8 grams, such as zinc sulfate, we need 0.15 grams, and all these mixtures we have to take in grams and then prepare in 1000 liters of nutrient solutions. So everything is understood, and you should not mix everything together. Put 38 grams calcium nitrate, magnesium nitrate, iron, zinc sulfate, and then start mixing. This nutrients should be mixed separately. Let everything mixed completely. It should be mixed. Then you can slowly release in 1000 liter of milk, and you have to make up the volume to 1000 liter. Okay, this is again another example of another formula for making the hydroponic solutions given by Dr. Alan Cooper. I think it is well understood now how you can prepare any hydroponics nutrient solution in 1000 liter, right? And accordingly, you can calculate for 100 liters how much it will be. Supposing for 100 liters, it will be supposing for 100 liters, it will be 3.8 grams, like that. You just have to calculate. Now, we have made fertigations. Fertigation system, we know irrigation water. What should be the irrigation? Means after after you mix all the fertilizers, check again the pH and the EC, because after mixing the the EC and the pH gets more or less hampered, and then you should check if it's higher. Then you should if the pH is higher, how you know? If the pH is higher, how you can reduce? If the pH is lower, how you can increase? Do you know how to do that? If the pH of the fertigation water is acidic, means like if it is more alkaline, like it is coming 7, then if you need to reduce, if you need to make 5.5, then how you will do it?
Ma'am, we add some acidic solutions.
Lime, we will apply lime.
You'll add phosphoric acid if it is more alkaline.
Yes, we'll add any acidic solution to make it acidic, such as an HCl 0.1 normal HCl. We can just drop by drop and check again the pH. We can do that. Now moving on to another technology of hydroponics is raising of the crops in a nursery. These are in this picture you can see how the vegetable crops can be raised in a nursery in a plug trays. So what is the advantage of raising these vegetable crops in nursery is it will be disease free. So you can see everything. There is a insect proof net house. It is grown in insect proof net house. It will be disease free, and also it will be vigorous because all the nutrients the plants are getting. So these nursery plants, hydroponic plants, will be very vigorous, and these are season independent. You can grow in any season, in like around the year. You can grow in a protected environment. Also, we can raise more number of seedlings, high density seedlings, and there will be no root-borne diseases. And because the soil is not there, so there is no root-borne diseases in this plug trace system. So in other words, we can see that this is an excellent proposition to grow high density seedlings and propagate any suitable planting material for higher productivity of horticultural crops. These raised seedlings are disease free. And a nursery of cucurbits during off-season can also be raised to get high returns from crops. It can be adapted as self-employed, any self-graduates or any progressive farmers can just start with a plug trace nursery. Before going on to a commercial hydro, you can just do a nursery of hydroponics for self-employment. Now, what crops are there which we can grow in hydroponics? Can somebody tell me? Please. You can see in the pictures also.
From all the leafy vegetables.
Lettuce, tomato,
Vine crops like tomato and
Strawberries.
strawberries.
Yes, you can see, these roots. Those roots which are very fibrous and
cucurbits,
these can be grown, such as leafy vegetables, lettuce, spinach, and pak choi are majorly grown in hydroponics, and some herbs. Why we are growing herbs? Because the market value of these herbs are more. So basils and cilantro we can grow. Tomatoes, cucumbers. In vegetables, we can grow tomatoes, cucumbers, and capsicums. In fruit crops, we can grow strawberries, and certain root vegetables such as radish also can be grown in hydroponic system. So now I will talk about the production technology of vegetables which can be grown under hydroponics. As I said, this under greenhouse in a soilless cultivation, tomato, capsicum, cucumber, and melons can be grown. And we'll be talking about how, in brief, what are the production technology of these vegetables. Now, if you see the first crop, that is the capsicum, it prefers the pH should be in any soilless media. The fertigation system should have a pH of 5.5 to 7 for a capsicum. Okay, and what happens is 30 days old seedlings are transplanted at a spacing of 30 to 60 centimeter. You can even grow in a grow bags. Okay, and the grow bags can contain cocopate, vermiculite, or a mixture of all these things. In 1,000 meter square of greenhouse, 500 seedlings can be planted, and we have to see that the NPK should be, there are different doses of NPK for different growth stages. So the ideal NPK should be around 80 to 100 ppm of nitrogen, 50 to 80 ppm of phosphorus, and 100 to 150 ppm of potash for capsicum. The average yield which can be given by the capsicum, any colored capsicum in hydroponics, is 60 to 70 tons. Also, there is this crop is a highly sensitive to calcium deficiency, which results in a blossom and rot symptoms. Okay, so we have to see time to time, we have to check for these symptoms also. And the relative humidity and temperature is given here. As we know, in the greenhouse structure, there are no possible pollinators. So we can introduce these capsicum are again self-pollinators. But if we introduce bumblebees, these can yield in a efficient fruit settings. The major crops and pests which can affect the capsicum crops are spider mite, thrips, aphid, caterpillar, white fly. So time to time, we need to give insecticide sprays to control the situation. And it can be grown in any working in tunnel or net house or greenhouse system with a soilless media. So here we have given the drip irrigation systems scheduling, means irrigation through drip, how we can drip in the months November, December, January, February, March. And this is the crop water requirement, how much the capsicum crop requires during this month is per plant is 250 ml in November, and it increases in the month, in the March month, it goes up to 800 ml of this irrigation system during the March month, right? So irrigation, number of irrigation also increases, and the duration also increases. This table shows the irrigation of the capsicum. And if we see the fertigation system for any soilless grow bag for capsicum, these for vegetative stage, there is different dose of ppm of NPK, calcium, magnesium sulfate. For flowering and fruiting, again there will be a different dose, and in again harvesting there will be a different dose for capsicum. Right, now we move to another crop, that is cucumber. This is the one of the most popularly grown greenhouse vegetable crop. And this cucumber can be grown year-round, okay? And it ideally requires a temperature of 15 to 22 degrees centigrade for better and maximum fruit development. The ideal pH should be around 5.5 to 6.8. And in 100 meter of greenhouse, 400 seedlings are planted. The varieties which we take for hydroponics in cucumber are gynoecious and parthenocarpic varieties, and this can give a yield of 120 to 150 tons per hectare. The fertigation systems, again, ideal fertigation system for cucumber is 80 to 100 ppm of nitrogen, 60 to 80 ppm of phosphorus, and 100 to 140 ppm of potassium. Again, here we have make the drip irrigation system and fertigation system. Again, you can see as the colder months approaches, the water requirement also increases, and the duration and the number of irrigation also increases in case of cucumber. And also here we can see that as vegetative fruiting and harvesting, there are different fertigation system in cucumber, right? Now, again, the another crop which can be grown in hydroponics is tomato. So you can see here in this picture, they have you have a grow bag, and there some soilless media is given, and with the help of a drip irrigation system, how these tomatoes are grown. So again, for pollination, we need bumblebees, or you can use a vibrators for pollination. And important thing which we have to see is that these we have to only retain one stem for tomatoes so that it can grow, you know, horizontally, vertically, I mean. And the nutrient means the fertigation requirement is 80 to 150 ppm of nitrogen, 50 to 60 ppm of phosphorus, and 100 to 180 ppm of potassium. And it varies in different growth stages. The yield which can be obtained from a greenhouse and hydroponics tomatoes is 150 to 200 tons for cherry tomatoes and 200 to 300 tons per hectare for slicing tomatoes. The problems which can arise in tomatoes grown in hydroponics is just like as we talk about capsicum, they also can have a blossom end rot due to the calcium deficiency. So we need to check the calcium concentrate properly in the fertigation system. So this is a fertigation system of tomatoes in different stages in ppm. Now we'll just talk about, as we have talked about the vegetable crops. In the vegetables crops, I forgot to include the lettuce, pak choy, and spinach. These leafy vegetables, they are grown exclusively, and there is no excuse me. These crops can be grown easily. Now we'll just talk about flower crops. So the common flower crops which can be grown under a greenhouse in a soilless cultivations are rose, geranium, jalbera, chrysanthemum, lilium. So rose is also grown in hydroponics, and these greenhouse hydroponic group rose can be grown round the year. The ideal temperature for growing of this rose in greenhouse under hydroponics will be 24 to 26 degrees centigrade and 16 to 20 degrees centigrade for day and night temperature, and the relative humidity is 50 to 60 percentage. The pH should ideally be 6 to 6.5, means like little bit on the alkaline side, not alkaline, but a little bit higher side, and the EC should be around 1.5 decisiemens per meters. These can be grown in a soilless media bag, and the media can contain sand, rock wool, cocoa pit, perlite, again, if we are talking about the propagation in rose, the tea budding or the micro propagation is the most commercial propagation technique in rose. However, there are certain diseases which are also found in greenhouse, that is a black dieback. They die back from the shoot, from the apical bud, and then black spot, powdery mildew, downy mildew, rust, and wind. The main insects which can be found in greenhouse are mites, aphids, thrips, ants, and bugs. The average yield, it can be from a greenhouse grown under hydroponics, the rose yield can give out to 150 to 300 stems per meter square per year, which also depends on the climate, varieties, and the management practices. Now, next crop is carnation. This carnation is a very popular greenhouse cut flower crop, and these are standard, spray, micro, and mini. The means 4 major types of carnation. Here we can see what are the ideal temperature in respect to day and night temperature and the relative humidity. The most common propagation method is the terminal stem cutting and micro propagation. The planting time ideally should be in the month of September to October in the plains and October to March in the hills. These plants are planted at a spacing of 20:20 and 30:30 centimeter respectively for the standard and the spray types. So other practices which can be done in carnation is pinching and de-shooting, stalking, disbudding, weeding are the regular operations. The next crop which can also be grown in hydroponics under hydroponic system is chrysanthemum. I will not talk much about it here. There is a mistake. It is a lilium crop which is also can be grown under hydroponic system. Here you can see the how beautifully the lilium crop is being growing in the hydroponic system. So what are the necessary materials we need for to establish a hydroponics? First, we can, it's not necessary if you want to start, if you want to just, do it by yourself, just try it. You do not need a greenhouse. You can start a small setup. Just you need a good seeds. You need a nutrient solution. You can use a hogland. Again, there's a ready-made packet also you can get. You can sachet packet for 1 liter. You can dissolve it and then you can use it. The growing mediums, you can use a coco peat, vermiculite, and alternatives. Okay, and just keep on monitoring the pH and the EC of the means all the nutrient solutions. And there should be a pump. Okay, because the plants also needs oxygen. So what does the pump do? They give oxygen to the nutrient solution. We need the pumps, and also the pump is also required to lift the plant, and they supply it to the various pipes, through pipes and all to the individual plants. So these are the things to set up any hydroponic system. Maybe in a small scale, you need all these things, right? So benefits. Okay, benefits. I think the participants will be telling me about the benefits. Yes, participants. Benefits. Why? What are the benefits of
More productivity of the crop. High yielding.
Yes, good.
It helps reduce pesticides, use of pesticides reduction.
Yes, very good.
No
Chances
any
of
weed.
soil-borne
Water uses can be reduced.
diseases.
Okay.
Chances of soil-borne diseases will be less. Temperatures.
High intensity plantation, weed free.
Yeah, very good, very good. So everything,
Environment,
okay.
environmentally friendly.
Participants,
Less
I
number of
request
labor is
to ask
required.
one by one question. Participants, I am requesting to you all, please ask one by one question so ma'am will comfortable to answer you. Okay?
Okay, so everyone, you have excellently told me what are the benefits. So what we are doing in hydroponics, we are avoiding soil. So there is no chances of any soil-borne pathogens or diseases. Okay. So what happens is in most of the cases, like in most of the areas, the soil are very problematic. Plants, there are lots of nematodes, there are lots of disease born, and what they do, they fumigate with means a fumigation system. They fumigate the soil, and which is detrimental to the soil itself and to the environment itself. So if we are using a soilless media, we are somebody had said that we are we are giving importance to the environment. We are damaging less to the environment, and the high water, because the water is, we are again using the water, so we are having a high water and nutrient efficiency. The quality and the yield which of the crops which are grown in hydroponics are of better quality than the traditional systems, and we can generate the crops year round, because in a traditional system we cannot do that, because the temperature and the humidity and all the other factors may not be favorable for year round, but in hydroponics we can do that. But the benefits comes with certain disadvantages. The disadvantages is the high cost, the high cost of the infrastructure. First we need a galvanized iron and the poly sheets, which cost so means like for an area, again, if you are choosing a bigger size area, the cost will be higher. The technical of, again, if we need materials in the terms of grow bags, S forks, all those trellising systems, these are also costing more. So these hydroponic system, initially it costs more, but it will give a higher means revenue at the end. Again, many of us, we are having a less technical know-how, because people want to do hydroponics, but they don't know what is the what nutrient solution should be given, how can we avoid all those algae problems, why are the plants not performing well, what we have to check. All those technical know-hows is again a challenge in a hydroponic system. We need to continuously, there should be a person to continuously measure the pH, water levels, the nutrients, and again, for lifting up all those waters and supplying it to the plants, we need a motor, and that motor will run on a horsepower, which in turn will our system will rely more on electricity. What happens when the electricity system is not there? The fertigation system will not work, water is not going to lift out. So these are all the disadvantages which can come in hydroponic system. Again, I just want to highlight, so as I said, what are the hydroponics, what we have to do, all those nutrient solution, pH, EH, the crops which can be grown. Again, I have given you all the irrigation, hydroponic systems, all those stages, what ppm should be given. The most challenge is the marketing, right? Because if you are growing any hydroponics, you are giving all your money, all your efforts for construction of this, and you are producing a high value crop. But if you are going to sell it in any local means sabzi mandi, you are not going to get good returns for it. Your cost will be high, means your cost will be high, but your in return will be less. So you have to feature those marketing challenge should also be there. At least if you are giving 100%, means 100% is if your for your hydroponic system, if you are giving 20% of the money should be for marketing. You should make a marketing strategy so efficient. You can go for Reliance Smart, you can go for all those there are consumers who are very who wants a high value crop, which are pest, which are looking attractive, which are of good quality. So we have to identify those marketing systems for hydroponics. So I have given you certain firms which are dealing with hydroponics technology. So with this said and done, I'm going to give my conclusion. So hydroponics, it is going to be a promising strategy, and in the future, hydroponics is going to contribute lots in terms of for soilless, means for poorer and landless people, and this industry is going to grow exponentially in the near future. To encourage commercial hydroponic farm, it is important to develop a low-cost hydroponic technology that reduces dependence on human labor and lower overall startup and operational cost. So thank you one and all for your patience hearing, and I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.